Do you want to stop drinking once and for all? I did, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. My name is mistoria. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I love God and I love helping people. Let's hop straight into the video. So here's my backstory, a little bit of my experience with drinking. My whole family were drinkers. My mom, my dad, my grandmother, everybody, my sister, everybody, we all drank. I mean, it was more of socially drinking. Some people in the family drank more than others. Some people drink every day. Alcohol was just a part of the culture that I grew up in. So what I can say is that every one of my older parents, like my grandparents and grandfather, on my mother's side, they got saved. They stopped drinking. They were no longer drinkers. My mom got saved. She stopped drinking as much. I think the only alcohol that she drinks is like Holy Communion. She's not the type nowadays to sit around drinking. My dad still drinks. My sisters drink. My brothers drink. Like, people still drink. So finally, we got to the point in my life where I had to make the decision to stop drinking, which was about 3 years ago. Right around the time, right before COVID hit, was when I really started to realize that I had to stop drinking. So it's 2024, and I don't think I've had alcohol since 2020. I can't remember the exact date because I had already started to scale back from drinking for so many reasons, which I'll share with you a few reasons why. But I was never an alcoholic where I felt like I couldn't go without a drink. We just drank because that's what we did. You know, my high school boyfriend, he drank a lot. And that's what introduced me to alcohol the way that I was introduced to it. From beer to liquor to wine to everything. Like, he was like the door for me. Even though my family drank, he was the one that I was drinking everything. And so what really stopped me from drinking was it started to be detrimental to my health. So I want to say this, that I felt like I was forced to stop drinking for several reasons. You know, some people are angry. They're, you know, you may be experiencing just serious issues from drinking. Like, some people become belligerent when they drink. Some people become a completely different person. Some people become abusive when they drink. So there are different reasons why people stop drinking. But my reason for not drinking anymore was because it became detrimental to my health. Meaning, every time I would drink, I would have a pain on one side of my body, which I attribute back to the job that I carried mail, and it's just like, when you carry mail, you use one side of your body. My right side is the side of my body that I used, and it's just like carrying mail apparently did something to that side of my body. So every time I put alcohol inside of myself, and also other things that I put inside, I really changed my diet completely. But every time I put it in my body, I would hurt. I would have to go to the hospital, get some medication, get some antibiotics to stop hurting. So finally, I came to the conclusion that it was the alcohol. And when I stopped drinking, I stopped having that problem. And, you know, the doctors didn't necessarily diagnose me. It was really just me evaluating my situation and my circumstance and realizing that I had something going on in my body that they hadn't necessarily been able to diagnose. But I started to do the process of elimination to figure out what in the world was causing me to have this pain where I had to go to the hospital to have antibiotics every single time. And so it was serious. It was really serious. Like, I felt like, I just felt like I had a UTI every time I drank. So anyway, that was what propelled me to stop drinking. And I'm not the type of person who feels like alcohol is just the devil, because there are people who can have a glass of wine and they know that's it. I sold alcohol for years, and I realized that there are people that know how to drink responsibly. But I do feel like my life is better because I don't drink anymore. I do truly feel like that. So let me tell you exactly how I did it. So the first thing I did was I made the decision that I wasn't going to drink anymore. Like, I got to the point where it was a non-negotiable for me anymore. I made that decision up in my mind. I would distance myself. Initially, when I first stopped drinking, I would go out with a friend. Everybody's having a drink. I feel like I'm left out. And so I would just get a drink and take a sip. That still didn't work. Still put me in the hospital. Still made me have to go get antibiotics. Still made me uncomfortable. I couldn't even sleep after I drank. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to feel pressure to drink. If everybody else is drinking and I'm not drinking, I'm fine with it. It's not an issue for me anymore, because the pain was excruciating. And me being a single woman, I was like, every time I have to go to the doctor or even through the emergency, I was having to go through the emergency. That's how excruciating the pain was. And I just realized no more. We're not doing this anymore. I'm not going to sit in the emergency room anymore by myself. And all I have to do is stop drinking. So what I did to stop drinking, besides the fact that I made the decision that it was a non-negotiable, was I replaced the habit with positive things. I work out a lot. I love to exercise. I do a lot of walking. I feel like if you want to conquer something, exercise is the way to start to break habits. Some people, now if you're already exercising and you're drinking a lot and you still can't get past it, then exercising is great, but there are other things that I did. The third thing that I did was I fast a lot. If you want to break any habit, fast. I water fast a lot. A 1 to 3 day water fast will definitely help you to start to have self-control. Intermittent fasting is great, but I think that water fasting for multiple days will bring in massive results. Even fasting from 1 to 4 days, if your body can take it, it will help you break your addiction. I fasted a lot. I did not eat a lot. And I still fast to this day, but not as much because I had gotten so thin and it just was to the point where I didn't want to hurt myself. But fasting breaks habits. Fasting can change the trajectory of your life. Prayer and fasting together will change everything. If you can't stop drinking, pray and ask God to help you stop drinking. My issue was I didn't have an alcoholism problem where I felt like I couldn't go without alcohol. I felt like every time I drank and wanted to have a drink, it was causing me too much pain. So that was my thing. But fasting, I believe all the fasting I did actually finally, it made it easier for me. Because there are so many other habits that I have broken. I broke the sugar habit. I'm going to be creating a video on how I stopped eating sugar as well. So stay tuned to my channel for that. But yeah, definitely fasting and praying are vital. Those are probably the top 2 reasons. Asking God to help you to do it. Because if you have a serious addiction and a serious problem, then you're going to want to take those steps. The last thing that I did that helped me to stop drinking was I stopped going around people that drink a lot. Like, I don't really hang out in those arenas with people. Like, I had friends that I would hang out with. Of course, first thing we did when we go out, we drink. I don't hang with those people. Like, I've got new friends. I'm a part of a prayer group with a lot of women, and none of those women drink. So it makes it easy when you have a support system of people who don't drink. And I didn't necessarily, like I said in the title of the video, I didn't go to AA. I didn't go to rehab. I didn't do any of those things. I got around different people because they say you become like the 6 people you spend the most time with. The people I started hanging with, they don't drink. So there's no temptation for alcohol. So if you're trying to stop drinking and you're constantly hanging around people that drink, you're going to be more likely to be tempted to drink. So to overcome drinking alcohol or alcoholism, changing your environment is imperative. It's like if you have an addiction to something, you don't want to return to the place where that's all they do. And not that I can't be in an environment where they drink. I'm around people that drink, or I've been in places where people have tried to say, oh, well, such and such drinks, or you can't just look, I cannot drink, and at first I did feel uncomfortable always standing on that. But when I started to, if you start to explain to people this long dramatic story about why you don't drink, they will leave you alone. They will leave you alone because peer pressure is real, even in adulthood. And so until you're strong enough to combat whatever they're trying to pressure you to do, I would suggest not going around drinkers. Like, I don't hang around people that drink all the time. And there's no judgment, no condemnation, because I'm a firm believer that when Jesus was drinking wine in the Bible, it was not grape juice. My pastor jokes about that all the time, but I truly believe that it was real wine. When Jesus turned that water into wine, I think it was real wine. I don't think it was grape juice. I don't think it was Welch's juice. And I don't even think that every single person on the planet does not need to be able to have possibly a glass of wine. But what I feel like is, for me and my situation, what was best for me was to stop drinking. And one of the other reasons that I realized that drinking was not good for me was, I'm going to be honest, I made poor decisions when I drank. Some of the decisions that I made when I drank were not wise. I remember one time, me and my friend, we were hanging out. We were going out a lot, drinking. Of course, I'm still working my job. I've got businesses. I'm doing several things that I'm doing. And I had a bill that I was going to pay. And we were going out so much that it was a big bill. It was like a $500 bill to me. And that was big to me. I don't know about to you, but if I would have paid that bill on time, I would not have accrued. It was like a bunch of interest. No, it was a no interest agreement I was in. And if I would have made it on time, I wouldn't have had to pay like $500 in interest. We were partying and hanging out so much that I completely lost track of what was going on in my financial life, that I missed that, and I paid that $500 fine. When I tell you, that was one of the eye openers, but that was like, I think in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. But I realized at that point, I stopped hanging out as much. I really did. But I just realized that, man, I'm drinking and partying so much that I can't even pay my bills on time. And I'm having to pay an extra $500 that I didn't want to pay because I'm drinking too much and hanging out and partying. And so it was just a lot of decisions. But the health problem, like, it was ongoing. It was ongoing. I was tired of going to the doctor. And I didn't feel like I needed to go to AA. I didn't feel like I needed to go to, rehab or anything. And I really don't think people have to. I think that people have to change their habits and change who they hang around. Because even though I didn't have an alcohol addiction where I was waking up drinking every morning, I did have an issue enough to where I felt the heat and the pressure coming from people. And thank God, I was wise enough to realize, okay, it's time to change circles. And so sometimes you just have to do that. And then I kept feeling, I guess when you drink, you become a different person. I was no longer that person. And I just felt like I didn't fit. And people start to look at you different, like, oh, she's stuck up, or it was never that. It was like, it's a health issue. And then you start to realize, I'm a better person sober. Like, the person I am sober, the decisions I make sober are better than the decisions that I make when I'm drinking. It was better than all my Patron shots, y'all. All my Patron shots, and I loved Patron. But, like, I love health more. Like, I love being connected with God more. I love, that is more important to me than having a good time with a drink. And so, like I said, I'm not the type to condemn. I just feel like it was one of the best decisions I made in my life. And I want to encourage you that you can do the same thing if you make some of the right decisions and the right choices. Exercising, changing your environment, fasting, praying, all of those things will help you to stop drinking. So comment below and let me know your story. Are you in the process of no longer drinking? Have you stopped drinking? And are you at the point, like, where are you right now? How long has it been since you've had a drink? So I pray that you guys have enjoyed this video. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and also share this video with a friend if you know that they need to stop drinking, or if they want to stop drinking. I pray that you're able, by the authority of the redeeming blood of Jesus, to stop drinking. I thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Have a blessed one.